Hello everyone, this is Anish Verma and you're listening to the Empower Your Mind for Success podcast, a podcast for anyone who wants to build an entrepreneurial mindset. Over the last few episodes, we have been talking a lot about your purpose in life, what your passions are, that you got to take action. It's okay if you don't know what your purpose in your life is right now. Some people don't find their purpose until in their 50s and 40s. And I wanted to take this one step further and maybe help some of you to find your passion, or at least take an attempt towards finding your purpose in life, and see if that would resonate, see if that would encourage you and inspire you to take action, because we would try to align it with your passion. And some passion is something that you would love to do, irrespective of how tired you are or whether you're going to make money out of it or not. Okay, one of the things that successful business owners, when thinking about business, is they don't think about money. They think first about the value to be provided, and dollars follow value. And this is a principle that I've seen a lot of entrepreneurs adopt. It's quite counterintuitive, but that's what I've heard them say. I know what some of you may be thinking. Yeah, Anish, it's easy for them because they have made a lot of money already. And I hear you. But it's like you have to go through the journey to really resonate with what they are saying, because as an outsider, one can always have opinions. Unless you jump into the playground, you will always be a spectator, and spectators only have opinions. They don't know the facts, they don't know the truth, and they don't have any experience themselves to talk from their heart. So anyway, coming back to finding or beginning to find your purpose in life, what I would like you to do is, if you're in your home, listen to this podcast, go and grab a piece of paper and pen, and we will do an exercise today that'll start you towards your journey. Now, if you're driving, of course, don't bother. You can come back and listen to this podcast again and go through the exercise. But go and grab a piece of paper and pen as you listen to this, and we'll take it from there. In my the 5 Secrets to Goal Setting ebook, and even the podcast that I did earlier, I spoke about how to find your passions. Now, the way I look at a passion is something that you will pay to do. Okay, so I've already mentioned about my 3 passions. My first passion is personal development, and I have paid and I continue to pay to be part of expert mastermind groups to learn about mentoring and coaching and providing value. My second passion is tennis. I love to play tennis. Actually, I pay to find hitting partners and to go and play in sports club and represent them, and play amateur USTA level tennis. And my third passion, is immunity. How you can improve and increase your immunity for overall wellness and health, and using home-based remedies or plant-based remedies. Identifying very good multivitamins to consume to live a longer, healthier life, which may be contrary to the medical pharmaceutical industry's point of view. Okay, and of course I am paying to find the best multivitamins and consume them and be healthy, right? So these are my 3 passions. I have a few more, but I would say these are my top 3 passions that I really would want to spend time in talking to people. I never feel tired about talking about these 3 subjects or partaking in them one way or the other. Okay, so let's do the same thing with you. Now, I hope you have grabbed a piece of paper and pen or a pencil. The other way to think about your passion is, if money was not an issue, what would you do? Right? What would you do? How would you live your life? Who would you help? How would you help them? think about that as well, because that is another way to look at it. And I'm getting this from Dr. Deepak Chopra's book, The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. Okay, so now let's do this. Why don't you document your top 5 things you love to do? Okay, now don't worry about whether it could be a business, whether it could help others or not. Just think of the first 5 things that come to your mind that you would love to do. Now, I have a friend who loves to go out on vacations, and he just doesn't love to go out on vacations. He plans them elaborately. He posts regularly on Facebook when he is on vacation. He talks about the favorite destinations they went on and what was unique about it, and what are the special food he ate there, what kind of an alcoholic beverage he tried, all those things, right? He kind of catalogs that in his Facebook and all that good stuff. He loves to do that, right? If I want to go out on vacation, he's the guy I would go and talk to. Now, he's not going to charge me for it. He doesn't have a business, but he loves to go out on vacation, right? I have another friend who loves to do camping. He's a camping go-to guru, right? If we need to go for camping, we talk to him, and he plans for everything. We have a checklist for camping: what to take, what not to take, how to divvy up the food items, how to divvy up the camping gear, all the good stuff. Where will we go? Why would we go there again? All those kind of good things, right? I have friends who love watching sports. Sports Center is one of their most favorite shows, right? And they can talk hours and hours about sports and teams and other things. This reminds me, I had another friend while I was working in one of my jobs earlier, and he loved to talk about the Boston Red Sox and how they are drafting and who are they drafting and why did they pick this person, why did they not pick this person. He was passionate about talking on this subject, right? So it could be sports, it could be vacation, it could be a song or a dance, it could even be a native language that or songs and movies in that native language, right? It could be about it could even be about ancient proverbs and phrases. I mean, you can pick anything. It could be about knitting, it could be about gardening, it could be about how to choose a great tennis racket, it could be about how to pick a good book to read, how to pick up a good author to follow, how to identify influencers on Instagram, how to pick the right cover art for Instagram and your podcast. And I mean, the list is endless, right? There are several things that you love to do. I mean, it could also be, hey, how to pick the right shirt for a guy for a cocktail party or an evening thing, or how to wear a tie, how to wear a scarf. I mean, it could be multiple things, right? How to choose the right contrast or color combinations for a guy for his suit or for his trousers and shirts and belts and wallets and shoes. I mean, I'm just making this list up as I'm documenting this podcast or speaking on this podcast. But it could be anything that comes to your mind. It could be cooking. It could be cooking utensils. It could be dogs, cats, pets. I'm talking about dogs. I just see my dog lying out on the floor outside my office, attracting my attention. But anyway, so it could be anything, right? So list the top 5 that comes to your mind, and it could be more than 5. It's okay. It could be 10, a dozen, right? List them down and think about, which ones are you the most interested in? If out of the 5 or a dozen that you have documented, if you had to choose only 3, which ones would they be? Right? And again, the criteria is you would never get tired talking about it. If someone came and asked you that topic, you would love to jump in. If someone came and asked you for advice, you would love to give it for free. You would love to blog about it. You would love to record YouTube videos about it. Whether anybody watches it or not, you don't care. You are passionate about the subject to such an extent that you don't care if people will watch or hear your podcasts or your YouTube videos or read your blogs. You would just go ahead and document them. Okay. So think about it that way. Choose your top 3. Okay. Now, if you have chosen the top 3, then after that, what you need to do, and by the way, you don't have to finish this exercise while you're listening to this podcast. Maybe you just have documented your passions as we speak. or you can do it after this podcast is over. But of the top 3 that you have chosen, what I would like you to do is Google those top 3 passions and identify who is doing anything in that space. If you find people doing that space, that means you're in the right vicinity. Okay? Chances are less that you will not find anyone, right? Somebody would be doing something on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, podcast, blog, and you can do various ways of Googling it, right? Another way to do it is, which is very interesting, is to go on Amazon and find books on those topics. If you find books on those topics, you will find the authors. Once you find authors, you will also find similar authors related to that subject, and then you can Google those authors and you will find their Facebooks, you will find their YouTube channels, and you will find their Instagram channels, and then you will find corresponding similar. You'll start building a list of people who are engaged in that subject. That will give you an idea that, hey, this subject area is of interest, because there are already so many businesses out there. And don't worry about competition. It is good that there are people who are talking about your passion already. What that means is you can then follow them. You can advertise or you can attract their followers towards yourself. Of course, you'll have to find some unique thing or another perspective to talk about that passion. So, my passion is personal development. Now, personal development has been around for centuries, right? It has been around for centuries. There are so many popular, well-paid speakers around personal development, right? But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take all the readings, all the teachings around subconscious mind, around conscious mind and potential, and I'm trying to connect that to science-based facts, which is around epigenetics, quantum physics, neuroplasticity. I'm also trying to connect dots between your burning desire and your personality and your strengths and how you behave under stress. I'm trying to connect multiple dots to help people find the right business that they should take, or how to grow their existing business and take it forward, right? Because there is some missing element out of the 4 pillars that I identified in the EM4S framework podcast a few podcasts ago. Right now, that is my unique angle. Now, I'm not saying that no one else is doing this. There might be other people doing it, but it's okay, right? It's okay. Not everyone knows Tony Robbins on this planet Earth. And I'm talking about adults, right? Who have been on YouTube or who have been watching TV. Not everybody knows Tony Robbins. Not everybody knows Jim Rohn. Napoleon Hill wrote the book Think and Grow Rich in 1936. And even today, almost 80 years later, people still don't know who Napoleon Hill is. And Napoleon Hill wrote the granddaddy motivational book of our lifetimes, right? So it's okay if there are people out there who are doing this. Even if you choose a unique angle, it is possible others are doing it, and that is okay, because no one can represent you, right? Nobody can duplicate you or replicate you. You have a unique way of presenting certain things, talking about it, YouTubing it, Instagramming it, tweeting it, whatever you choose as your social media platform, right? But if you could do these things, right, and identify other people and groups of people, then at least there are certain people doing this, right? Now, you have chosen the 3, you have done some research. Now think about, out of those top 3, which is the number 1 passion that resonates the most with you. Now you will have to choose one. You will have to choose one because you would want to dedicate the next 12 months to 18 months to that passion and do everything and anything to provide value to people who come to you, or you go out and talk about openly on your social media platforms about what you're interested in. Okay, that is one way to take action towards your passion and see if that will lead to finding your life's purpose. Maybe that passion will be your life's purpose. But if not, at least it will lead you, because you will be taking action, you will be doing multiple things around it. And when I say you have to do a lot of things around it or multiple things around it, it doesn't mean you have to spend 8 hours a day on it. No, you have a job, maybe you have your own business, and you don't have that kind of a time. You have kids, you have family obligations, I understand that. But you need to spend at least an hour and a half on it on a daily basis. Right? When you do something daily on your passion and let the world know, let the universe know, then the universe will go out there and attract the right people, and they will become part of your tribe. Right? And that is one way to find your passion. See, I got into personal development because when I was building my businesses and I was talking to a lot of other people, I found that a lot of people didn't have a high self-image about themselves to start a business. They always doubted themselves. Oh, I can't talk to people. I can't sell products. I'm not good at marketing. I'm not good at creativity. I am not good at video recording myself. I mean, there were plethora of doubts in their mind. And now doubts are all self-doubts. Okay, these are stories that we tell ourselves in our mind. So when I saw that, and I saw the huge gap in self-image these days, not only in adults but even in teenagers, I thought that maybe this is a time for me to deep dive into this and understand why certain people become more successful than others. How can they leverage their 24 hours in a day that you have and I have differently and make more money than you and I can? There has to be something more, and it is not about the uniqueness of the idea. It is not about what kind of business it is. It is not about intellectual capability. They are not geniuses. It is not that they have received venture capital. It's none of that, right? All these things add up to it, but the biggest thing for people to become successful is that their self-image about themselves is very high and they have a very different mindset. And by the way, mindset things, belief things can all be learned. These are not things that you are born with. And I've mentioned about this in multiple podcasts that you can look up on, right? Belief systems, neuroplasticity. There are multiple topics that you can listen to these on my podcast to get an idea. I'm not going to cover that today. But the idea was to help you at least start identifying a list of passions, narrowing it down to top 3, doing some research, and then identifying your number one passion that you can then spend the next 12 months to 18 months on. Right? I mean, if you are spending an hour a day, I'm talking about spending 500 hours over the next 18 months, and you will find your purpose in life. I can pretty much guarantee it. Well, I know what you were saying. Anish, nobody can guarantee anything. I understand that. There are no guarantees in life. What I mean is the probability of you finding your passion will be much higher. Okay? So go ahead, try this if you haven't tried. If you already know your purpose in life, that's great. If you're struggling a little bit, hopefully this helps. I really hope you resonate with this. And if you found value in this podcast, please share it with anyone you believe will benefit from listening to this podcast. See, the only way you and I can achieve our financial freedom is by helping others know what we know. Okay? So please do that. Subscribe, forward, share, whatever you'd like to do, and share it with someone, with your friends who would benefit from this. Remember, you have unlimited potential. Own it. Until next time, take care.